Hello, I'm Emmy, and welcome to my mini world. Today I have a polar bear dilemma, and I'm hoping that you might be able to help me. Before we go any further though, I'm going to ask the polar bears to introduce themselves to you. Here they are. My little girl and I are building a glacier for the Sylvanian creatures that prefer to live on the ice. So far we have seals and penguins and husky dogs, but my little girl decided she really wanted some polar bears. We didn't have any polar bears at all, and she couldn't decide which she liked the best. Out of all of the photos I've shown her the snow fluff bears and the Polaris bears and the Beaumont bears, and she couldn't make up her mind. So I decided to surprise her by getting her a family of bears and having them just magically appear on the glacier in the morning when she woke up, and she'd have a lovely surprise. We have a bit of a magical Sylvanian land. Our Sylvanians do move about at night and when we're not at home. My children absolutely love it, and I love it too. Having magical creatures though is a little bit harder because I can't then let my daughter choose which bears she'd prefer. We've got it down to Polaris or Beaumont, and she keeps changing her mind. Or is it Beaumont? Perhaps it's Beaumont. Sorry, I live in France and it's Beaumont, like the cheese, but it probably is Beaumont because this is not a French company. Sorry. Anyway, I found the Polaris bears and I thought they were ever so sweet. And then she piped up that no, the Beaumont bears were actually her favourite. And I was lucky enough to find the ice cream sellers without their hats, but I prefer them without the hats anyway, because I don't want them to be ice cream sellers. I just want them to be polar bears. And then I couldn't decide which ones I liked best. They both have their advantages. I love their fluffy tails. It's so sweet. The Beaumonts do not have any tail at all, which is a bit of a shame. But they do have lovely triangular polar bear shaped heads. So I was lucky enough to find both sets of polar bear. There aren't any children with this family yet, but I could add children at a later date if I wanted to. The problem is though that both families pale in comparison to this beauty of a brown bear bride. Look at the size of her, and look at the shrimpy sizes of these. Polar bears are supposed to be the biggest bears, and yet they are so small compared to my original bear. It is a little bit disappointing. They're still very cute, but it makes me take them less seriously as potential polar bear candidates for my glacier, and I would be very grateful for some input now. What should I do? Should I just remove the element of surprise and have my daughter choose her favourite family? That would be much simpler. Or do I choose myself? Do I choose to keep one family and give away or sell the other? Or do I just keep one in storage for a later time in case we do need a second polar bear family, because you never know? Or do I customise one of the families? I don't know if I would be committing Sylvanian treason by customising a retired family, or if that would be a good thing, and if so, which would I customise and what would I do? I quite fancy the idea of black bears, which would probably then work better with the Polaris, because the Beaumonts have the peculiarly shaped heads. But I could also not do a bear at all and customise another creature that exists in the world that I haven't thought about yet and make something really quite snazzy. But I don't know. If any of you has any thoughts on this subject and can help me, or even just tell me your favourite polar bear, that would be really helpful. Thank you. And hopefully soon I'll be able to make up my mind, and hopefully in the not too distant future, a polar bear will just appear by magic on the glacier when my daughter gets out of bed and checks on her Sylvanians in the morning before school. I hope so. Anyway, that's all from me for today. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, goodbye.